Hi, everybody, and good afternoon. Welcome to our first Research Methods live stream on Twitch here. My name is Elisa Setmire. I am the instructor for your class. This is Twitch. If you've never been on here before, welcome. Your way to communicate with me through these live streams is to put any questions or comments or anything in the chat, and I am monitoring it on my phone, so if you have any questions for me or thoughts or comments, I will happily answer them. This is a wonderful time to ask me all of those things. I don't know how many of you are new to Twitch, but it's just kind of an alternative way that we can meet live instead of doing something like Zoom, which is probably the more responsible way, but I kind of like that this is a pop culture fun thing to do, even if we're sadly not playing any video games together. But can you all hear me and see me okay? Is everything coming through clearly on your end? If somebody could put in the chat that it's good, give me a thumbs up or a yes. Okay, perfect. Grace and Joey, yes. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, good to know. I am on campus in my office, and sometimes the internet here is not amazing. So hopefully everything will work wonderfully. But thank you so much for those of you who are joining me live right now, or if you're watching this later as a recording. What I want to do today is kind of go over our course website a little bit, the syllabus, make sure you know what to expect, where to find everything. And then generally what I will do is once we've gone through whatever is relevant for the week, I will give you an extra credit question that you can answer for up to 2 points. And then I'll end with some time for questions. So I'll follow a similar format with these every week. And if you can make it, fantastic. And if you have to watch it later, that's okay. But today will probably be the longest one just because we got to go through everything to make sure you're feeling good. Normally it will be probably about 30 minutes or so, but today probably a little bit longer. So let's head over to Canvas together and get started. And again, if at any point today you do have any questions or thoughts or comments, please feel free to put them in the chat. So heading over to Canvas, this is our Canvas homepage. Right, so if you have made it here, you are in excellent shape. Everything that you need for the class is either on here or linked from here. And so what you'll see is there's a little description of the class, and then there's a bunch of links below it, like somewhere to start, how to contact me, help and campus resources, course documents and videos, and then it just goes into the weeks that we have for the semester. So when you're on this page, you can access things by clicking on these links here, these pictures, or you can also access them by clicking on the links over here on the left. I tend to use these ones down here just because they have images, so they pull my attention. But once you're here, a good place to start is right here where it says Start Here with the mandatory orientation. So if you were to click on that or click on modules, it's going to take you to a bunch of different materials that are on here. And I'm actually going to scroll up here just for a minute all the way to the top. Okay, so it starts with the syllabus, which I want to go through a little bit with you. There's some textbook information and then other stuff underneath it. So let's start by looking at the syllabus together. And I'm not going to go through everything, but I do want to make sure that you know what to expect, you know how to get a hold of me, you know what is going to be graded, all of that kind of stuff as we go through our time together this semester. And we're completely online, but you can always email me, you can always reach out to me if you'd like to make an appointment to meet either in person or online. I'm here for you, and these live streams, again, are a wonderful opportunity for you to ask me questions every week if you have them. So it has the title of the class, my name. So my name is Elisa Setmire. If you are wondering what to call me, you can call me Elisa. If you'd like to brave my first name, you can call me Setmire. You can call me Professor Setmire. Dr. Setmire is a lie. It's not true. I don't have a doctorate, but you can call me that if you would like, and I'll smile at you. Most people call me Setmire or Professor Setmire, but Elisa is also totally fine. I gave you my phone number and my email. Email is always going to be the best way to get a hold of me. I check my email constantly. I only get my voicemails when I'm in my office. So if you have a question or you run into a problem, please reach out and email me. I will get back to you much faster that way. And I won't know if you're confused unless you reach out. So if you're having a hard time or something comes up, please reach out to me. I am here. There's some information about the administrative assistant, department chair, and dean, a course description and objectives and outcomes. I'm going to let you look over all of that on your own, just in the interest of time. And I'm going to pick up right here where it says textbook and required materials. Now, I don't know how many of you have purchased a book yet. I can't ask you to raise your hand, but If you haven't, you are going to want to get a copy of the book. Now, it looks like this. That's the cover. You can get an electronic version. You can get a physical copy. You can rent it. You can buy it. There's lots of options available to you, but you are going to need the book to be successful. I don't cover everything. You're going to be reading the book to get a lot of your kind of like supplemental information. So without the book, you're going to have a hard time, right? You could definitely limp through without it, but I would really strongly recommend you getting it. Everything being research-based, right, for this class, in general, what I have seen is there's a full like letter grade difference between those who are reading the book and those who aren't. So please make sure you try and get a copy of the book as soon as possible. Here's the information, and there's a little more on another page, which I can show you shortly. You're going to probably want the Canvas app, maybe even the Twitch app. You could download those things on your phone. They're really handy things to have. You don't need them, but I put them as recommended. And then you definitely will need access to the internet, whether that's on your computer, your tablet, your phone. Since we're a fully online class, you definitely will want internet in order to be successful. I have some stuff here about computer and system stuff. You can look that over. Generally, if you have like a computer that's working and has good internet, you're probably in good shape. I have some codes of conduct, policies, and campus policies. Now, I know we're meeting 100% online, but we will have these Twitch sessions, we'll have discussions and ways that we're interacting. So let's always try to be really mindful of each other, the things that we're saying and things that we're doing. I really want this to be a safe, like inclusive learning environment. And so just when you're posting stuff, when you're talking to me on here or each other, let's always be kind and mindful of that. I really hope you feel comfortable asking questions and sharing. It's so much more fun when you're participating in the chat and in the discussions in a dynamic way. As far as late work and exam stuff, the way the class is organized is you have access to 1 week of materials at a time. So every Monday morning, that week will open up at 12:01 a.m. and then it'll close Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So during that week, you can complete the materials that are due at any time. You could do it all like Monday morning at 3 a.m. if you wanted. You could do it all Sunday if you wanted, or you could kind of spread it out. But I'm pretty strict about the deadlines because you have so much flexibility. So once the Sunday night deadline of 11:59 p.m. hits, I don't accept anything late. So please make sure that you're really aware of the deadlines. If you email me at 12:01 a.m. Monday morning, it will be too late. Okay, so please make sure that you're getting everything into me by the end of the week. Now, if something happens, if something comes up, you're sick, there's an emergency, like whatever it might be, please reach out to me. If you reach out to me before the deadline, I'm completely willing to work with you and I can be flexible. If you reach out to me after the deadline, I'm going to tell you I'm so sorry. I wish you had reached out earlier. It's too late. So that's kind of my one hard rule. I stick to this very strongly. If you reach out to me before a deadline, I'm happy to work with you and consider an extension. If you reach out to me even 1 minute after, it's too late. So please try and keep that in the back of your mind as you're completing stuff. If you need more time or something comes up, communicate with me and do it before the deadline. Please don't copy or cheat. There's some stuff here about sexual misconduct and the smoking policy. I'll let you look over those things on your own. And then the next section is all about what your grade is made up of. So we have a bunch of stuff here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things that make up your grade in this class. So lots of opportunities for you to get points, much more so than just exams. The first thing is an orientation, and I'll show you where this is and we'll go through it in a little bit, but there is a required orientation that I want you to complete and a quiz related to it before the end of this week. So before Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. And if you don't do this, you will get a drop warning from me. This is my way of making sure that you have the book, you've read through the syllabus, you know what to expect, and you've done all of that before the end of this week. So make sure that you complete this little orientation quiz. Again, I'll show you where you can find it. A lot of you have already done it. The other things for this class, discussions. Discussions are huge in this class. It's 245 points, worth more than any other element. Every single week, you will have a discussion to complete, right? So you'll have a discussion each week. Sorry, it says 2 right here, but it's only 1. I will fix that. But you'll have a discussion every single week to complete with a maximum of 15 points. And I'll show you what those look like and we'll go through those. Think about them as like mini papers. You want to elaborate and give me lots of information. You'll have a couple of little self-assessments to complete throughout the semester. They're not worth a lot of points, but they're easy points where you'll reflect on your progress and how you're doing and your grades so far in the class. You'll have 4 homework assignments in here, right? And these will be things you'll do like roughly one a month, like every few weeks you'll have one of these. These assignments are going to reinforce the stuff that we're covering. They're going to be things about APA formatting or reading an article and analyzing it. They're going to be things that are going to be helpful for you for the exams and understanding the materials. They're each worth 25 points. You'll have 4 exams. I'm skipping this one for a second. You'll have 4 exams, each worth 50 points. Again, roughly every 4 weeks, you'll take an exam. So you'll take 4 of them. They're going to be online. You can use your notes. You can use your book. I'll go over the exams a bunch when we get to the first one, but you'll always have a study guide so you know what to prepare for. Hopefully you do really well on them. They're very straightforward and clear. And then finally, you'll do a little proposal project at the end of the semester, kind of pulling everything together. So at the end of the semester, you're going to be designing a research experiment. You're not actually doing it, just designing it. And then you're going to be writing that up. You'll create a little digital visual aid and a short video. And that's going to be kind of your big culminating thing at the end of the semester. And this can be on anything. I think it's kind of a fun idea. If you were to research anything, what would you do? And again, we'll talk about that a bunch when we get closer. But those things together make up your grade in this class. So it's a lot of like weekly discussions and then some homework assignments, exams, and a couple of other things interspersed. Here's the breakdown of points so you can see what you need for each letter grade. And if you have a memo with access, if you have accommodations that you need, please make sure you get that to me as soon as you can. A few of you have already sent this over, but if you have extra test time or whatever it might be, I want to make sure I get that set up for you. So as soon as you can, get that emailed over to me and I will get you all set. There's some student tech support and important college information here, just some links that might be helpful for you if you need them. And then after that, it's just the schedule, week by week, what we're going to be reading and what your assignments are. So for example, this week, which started on Monday, you can see that you have these things to read and then these things to complete, right? And so I've kind of put it all together in one spot so that you can see what you need to do every week. I've been teaching online now for like 12, 13 years. I'm very like organized and meticulous, and everything is very consistent. So hopefully what that does, it makes it very clear on your end of what you need to do. And you'll see that everything is compiled under its week folder. So I laid this out for you all the way through to the end. And then there's a little note about, again, weeks beginning Monday morning and ending on Sunday night. So I didn't go through everything in the syllabus, but that's kind of like the highlights of the syllabus, if you will. I can't see you, so I don't know how you're feeling. Are there any questions at all about the syllabus for now? I still have lots more to cover, but are there any questions for me so far as we get going? My voice is starting to get a little scratchy. I've been talking so much this week, as you can imagine, so I'm sorry about that. You're usually about 30 seconds behind me, so if you think of something, feel free to put it in the chat. I'm going to keep going, but if you have a question, happy to answer it, so make sure you put it in there. There's some information here about the textbook underneath the syllabus. So if you click on this, it'll give you the ISBN and a picture and, some ways that you can get the book. So make sure, again, you try and get that shortly. I sent out a welcome letter on Monday about the book and what to expect and what to do. I put a copy of that here. There's a discussion rubric and sample in case you'd like that. I made a little video overview. Here are the study guides for the exams. I put them on there for you so that you have them. And then there's a huge section here on help and campus resources. I put together a list of some frequently asked questions. So questions that people have asked me over time. I put them all here so that you can look that over. If you do have a question, it's probably on there. I also have a little student lounge for you. So if you would like to meet and talk with each other in a space, I have created one for you to do that here on Canvas. Here's some information about how to set your Canvas notifications. If you haven't been getting my emails and announcements, you might want to set your notifications so that you do. That way, if I send out a message or a reminder about a Twitch live stream or whatever, you are getting it. And then this one is another big one. So I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about this today, and then I'll probably remind you every Twitch session. But I do use a lot of technology in this class. So I will be posting a lot of stuff on YouTube. I make a lot of little videos. And then we have a weekly Twitch live stream that I'll be doing as a way just to touch base with you and give you a chance to ask questions of me in real time. So I would love for you to find me on those platforms. So if you click on this page here, I gave you some information about how to do that. So I do post a lot of videos. Find me on YouTube. It's Psyched with Setmire. Which I thought was kind of a fun name, right? Find me on YouTube. Easy to subscribe on there. You just click a button and it's free. Twitch is a little more complicated. And I'm sure a lot of you are new to Twitch. It's usually used for video games, but you can use it for live streaming, which is what we're doing. But I would love for you to find me and subscribe on Twitch if you're going to be watching these videos. And let me give you some reasons why. I just want to highlight that. When you subscribe on Twitch, you get notifications that I'm online, so you don't miss a stream. I do a couple of other classes, so make sure it's the right one. It's exponentially easier for me to track your attendance and participation. So selfishly, it saves me so much time when you're subscribed. If you look here really quickly in our chat, if I move this over, if you're subscribed, you have the little football cake and the crown next to your name. So a bunch of you have already done this, which is fantastic. If you haven't, please take some time to try and figure that out either today or this week. And I gave you step-by-step instructions how to do that. One more important thing, if you aren't able to make these live streams live, if you have to watch them later due to classes or work or whatever, if you are subscribed, you can still get credit to do the extra credit question. So that's a really big one. If you're not able to make it live, you can subscribe and then I can see that you watched it and you can still get those points later on. You also get less ads. There's one ad at the beginning usually and then no more. I can't stand the ads, so this is a big one to me. And you get a little football cake next to your name, which I think is fun because I'm a huge football fan. I gave you step-by-step instructions here. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you get one free subscription each month, and you could use that for this class if you're not using it. So I showed you here how to link those accounts step-by-step, and then I even gave you a little video at the end showing you how to do it. I'd rather you not pay for this. Don't pay for something that could be free, but there are a lot of benefits, and like I said, selfishly, it does help me a little bit as well, in the sense that it takes me drastically less time to record who's here. So try and figure that out at some point. You can do it now or you can do it later in the week. It's good for 30 days, so I'll remind you throughout the semester to renew your subscription. But I really appreciate those of you who've taken the time to do that. There's a little bit here about how to find your grade, how to use it as a learning opportunity. There's some Canvas information, technology help, student services, psych major stuff. I have lots of little links and campus resources on here for you should you want them or need them. And once you've gone through all of that, you can see here's the orientation quiz, and then week 1. So let's take a look at the orientation lecture together. Everybody doing okay? Any questions? Anything so far? There's about 12 to 15 of you in here with me. Any questions or anything at the moment? If you do, put them in the chat. Just checking in to make sure you're okay. The mandatory orientation lecture, while I wait to see if you have anything, follows like a 5-page format up here at the top. And what you'll see, the first page is an overview telling you all the things to complete. And you can read it or you can listen to it. I did record every single page. If you miss the sound of my voice or it's just easier for you to listen to, that is an option. So you're going to want to read or listen to these pages, read through the syllabus, which we looked at closely or kind of quickly together. You're going to want to complete the mandatory orientation quiz, which we'll look at next. Find me on YouTube, find me on Twitch, which I just talked about. The next page goes over a little bit about what to expect from this class. Every single week, you'll be responsible for one chapter or one group of assignments. There's also going to be a lecture and a lecture video every week. So you're going to want to do all of those components every week. Read through the chapter, read through the lecture, and watch the lecture video. There's also going to be a discussion every week, and that's where you're going to get a lot of those points. So the discussions are going to be based on the topic for the week, and we'll look at the first one here together in a moment. In addition to those weekly requirements, you will have those 4 homework assignments, 4 exams, a couple of self-assessments, and then that project at the end. Oh, good. I'm glad you like the audio. It's just me reading the page, but some people really love to have that instead of reading it. So thank you for saying thank you. It took a little bit to record them, so I'm glad it's helpful for you. It is there if you want it. There's one on every single page. So again, what will happen is every Monday morning, the week will open up. So we're in week 1. Everything for week 1 is available, and then it will close Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. I also wrote here at the bottom that I gave you all my contact information. Please feel free to email me if you ever have any questions or concerns. There's a little bit about me as well on here. As I said, my name is Elisa Setmire. You can call me Elisa or Setmire, Professor Setmire. I'm a huge football fan. Look, since we're in my office, it's right here so I can show you. I play a lot of fantasy football. I did win my league this year, so here's my trophy, my massive trophy on my desk. Very exciting. I'm a huge football fan. Brady's been my guy for years, so this is going to be a weird year, not having him for the first time. I love escape rooms. I've done 101 escape rooms as of today. Big fan of them. They're a really fun application of psychology, and they're so fun to do just in general. Oh, and thank you for the congratulations. I love the fall. I'm a huge fan of Halloween. I'm like, it's like show and tell. Like behind me, I have my pumpkin pillow. I've already decorated for Halloween in my house. So happy back to school Halloween, I suppose. I'm a big fan of Halloween and the fall. I love the outdoors. I have some cats, which I shared with you in here as well, and some shows that I like to watch. Most of the time I'll be doing these live streams in my office, but if I ever do them at home, my cats might find their way into our streams for sure. That's a little bit about me. The next page is computer and internet stuff. If you're struggling with your computer or internet settings, I have some tips on here. You may or may not need that. And then finally, on the last page, help. Right? If you're struggling, if you're having a hard time, reach out to me. We can do a quick Zoom meeting. I can email back and forth with you. If you're struggling with Canvas, there's a Canvas support phone number. There's some stuff here about like the college distance ed site if you need it. But this class does kind of move quickly, like everything builds. So if you're confused or you're lost or you're struggling, please reach out to me. These live streams are going to be really helpful as well. If you have questions about the content for that week or what you need to do or any of that, you can always ask me during these live streams. At the end, I will leave time for questions. So you have lots of ways you can get a hold of me if you are struggling. So I went through that quickly, but make sure you read through everything on there and then complete these 5 things on the first page, right? Reading through the syllabus, that mandatory orientation quiz, and then finding me on YouTube and Twitch. If we go back, right underneath that is the quiz, right? So once you've read through the syllabus, once you've read through that and you're ready, this is the quiz that's due by this Sunday night. It's worth 10 points. It's got 10 questions, really straightforward. Okay, but some instructions, you have 15 minutes to complete it. You only get 1 attempt, so make sure you're ready before you begin. You can use your notes, you can use the syllabus, but make sure that you're watching the time. Canvas will stop you when you run out of time, so make sure you're watching that. So when you're ready, you'll hit take quiz. Let's take a look at it together. And you can see at the top right here, here is the clock. So 14 minutes and counting, it will keep track of the time. And the instructions are right here. So for example, question 1, our weeks begin Monday morning at 12:01 and end Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Which of the following is not true about your instructor? That I hate football. I love football. That's not true, right? So I give you like 2 freebies here, 2 free answers. But you're going to go through and answer all of them. There's some true, false. The last one is a short answer question. And then when you're done, when you've answered everything, you'll hit submit quiz here at the bottom. And it's going to say, are you sure? You have 8 unanswered questions, but rather than go through each one of them, I'm going to say, okay. And when you're done, you will get a score instantly. So you'll notice that I got a score of 2 out of 10. Shameful, right? I failed my own quiz, but I only did 2, so it's not too bad. but it'll show you the ones you got right and the ones that you got wrong. If there are some short answer ones, those still need to be graded, and that will be graded throughout the week. But make sure you do this before Sunday night, right? This is my way of making sure you've read the syllabus, you know what to expect, you've gotten your book, you found me on YouTube and Twitch, and you're ready to go. Okay, so that's where you can find that. And then there is also a little introduction discussion underneath that, just as a way to get to know you a little bit. It's worth 5 points. So once you've done all of these things, then you can move on to week number 1. So this is where you start. Again, get your copy of the book, read through the syllabus and the lecture, and then when you're done, you can take the quiz and do the introductions discussion. Once all of that is set, you're ready to go on chapter 1 in week 1. So for week 1, these are all the things that you need to do. They're compiled under the week. If you ever aren't sure, you can click on this wrap-up checklist, and I will tell you all of the things that you need to do for this week, just as a quick reminder. It's also posted in the syllabus. So again, with consistency, you'll see a very similar format. It's not open to you yet, but you can see the same structure for week 2, week 3, and so on. Okay. So as long as you do all the things under that week, you are good, but you could always check the syllabus. My announcements I'll send out every Monday, or I'll go over it here on these live streams every week. So for week number 1, we're focused on chapter 1 lecture. And so for this, you're going to want to read the chapter in the book. You're going to want to go through my lecture and then watch the lecture video with PowerPoint slides. Those are the 3 things that you want to do with every chapter. I'm always self-conscious. I hold up 3 like this. I broke my wrist so many times that I can't do 3 like the normal way. It looks like a claw. So 3, my kids make fun of me for it, but 3 things every week. So read the chapter, and then the lectures look similar to the mandatory orientation lecture, but they have 3 tabs at the top. So page 1 is always objectives. What are we going to cover? And then a quick summary with some photos and some pictures of things that are helpful. And then you can listen to it if you would rather, or you can read it. It's totally up to you. Page 2 is always going to be beyond the book. So here are some things beyond what's covered in the book that I thought were important to share with you. There'll be some images, there might be some videos. Anytime I give you a video, watch it, right? I gave it to you for a reason. It's going to help you to understand the materials. If there are links, click on them. Like here's a link to a study. And as a side note, if a link is ever broken or a video doesn't pop up, let me know so I can fix it. But they should all be there. I check them often. And then the last page will be, here are the terms from that chapter that you need to know for the exam. So if you wanted to study for the exam 1 week at a time, these are the terms from chapter 1 that you need to know. And again, with each page, you can listen to it or you can read it. But with these, make sure you click on everything, explore everything, watch all the videos. Together, it's going to give you a good understanding of the material, in addition to reading the book. There's also always going to be a brief lecture video. Now, these are kind of short. I kept them short. But what I did is I created some PowerPoint slides, and then I lectured to them. So there's usually a little video of me in the corner and then slides. These are going to help you to understand the topics and the content. I give you examples. You might consider taking notes on these because it will definitely be on the exam. So again, with every single chapter that you have 3 things: read the chapter, read the lecture, and watch the lecture video. You'll also have a discussion every single week. So this week you have discussion number 1. So let's take a look at that together so we can see what that looks like. And you'll see that these are very consistent. They follow the same format every week. So there's always going to be instructions at the top telling you to watch my little video, right? So I made a short, like 1 to 2 minute video for every single discussion. These are important, right? I took the time to make them. I think they're really helpful. I will give you tips and suggestions. I'll go through the prompt a little bit more. And then what you're going to want to do is answer my questions that are underneath the video. And these are what are worth points for this discussion. And some tips here, think about them as little mini papers. Be detailed in your responses, really elaborate. It's better to give me too much than not enough. This is a chance for you to show off your understanding of the materials, that you can apply them, that you know what they mean. That is worth 13 points. So your discussions are worth a total of 15, 13 for your responses to my questions, and then 2 for your responses to a classmate. So every single week, you're going to want to read through a minimum of 5 of your classmates' posts and responses and just reply to one of them. And if you'd like to see a sample of what I'm expecting, I have a little rubric and sample page right here. And then again, here are the questions. So this week, we're looking at like psychology as a way of thinking. So you're going to be answering questions about what does it mean to be a critical or smart consumer of information. You're going to find a news headline or story online, and then you're going to be a critical consumer of it, kind of critiquing it from a scientific lens. And I gave you some spots where you can find like pop culture news stories, but you can find it from anywhere. And when you're ready, you'll hit reply and answer. So Grace, for example, right here, has answered that prompt. And let's say she's the only one who's done it so far. So let's say I really like the way that you did this. I could hit reply, and that would give me a chance to reply to yours and be like, fantastic, I love it, that's really interesting, or whatever it is you would like to say. But make sure that when you're ready, you hit reply. That's how you reply to my questions and get those points. And then also reply to a classmate. And you'll be doing this every single week. There's a discussion every week. They're worth the most points in this class. So again, make sure you think about them as like little mini papers. Elaborate, really give me as much information as you can. And what I will do typically is once the week ends, so Sunday night, on Mondays, I will grade everything from that week. So on Monday next week, I'll grade all of the week 1 discussions. And I typically will send out an email with some kind of general feedback. And then when we meet on Wednesday next week, I'll go over some of that feedback. I'll go over the reminders for the week and some feedback and reminders. And if there's an exam, I'll give you some tips. We'll go over that. If there's a homework assignment, we'll go over that in detail. This week, I'm just kind of going over the structure of the class just to make sure that you're feeling good about it. And then every week I will give you a extra credit question. And again, the way that you earn points on these is joining me live. I'll give you the question. You can answer it on here to get those points. Or if you're watching this as a recording later and you're subscribed, you can still go ahead and answer the question for points. I'll also always post a recording of this. It typically takes a few hours. So by the end of the day today, you should see a recording posted. If you're watching this later, you obviously found it. But that way, if you can't make it live, you can watch them. And then there's always going to be a little wrap-up checklist, just a quick review of everything that needs to be done for that week. So that's the format that will follow every week. Some weeks there'll be an additional element or two, like a homework assignment or an exam or an assessment. But for the most part, you're reading a chapter, completing a discussion, and then there's an optional extra credit. And then starting in week 3, you'll see we have like a homework assignment that's added. On week 4, we'll have exam number 1. So for the most part, we follow a very similar format. That consistency will hopefully be helpful for you. So that is most of what I want to say. I still have to give you the extra credit question, show you how to answer it. I have a couple of reminders for you. But do you have any questions for me before I give you those pieces of information? Any questions or anything you're confused about? I'm going to post a couple of reminders really quickly here in the chat while I wait to see. The first one again, and sorry to harp on this, but please take a moment this week to figure out that subscription to Twitch just to save me the time and energy to allow you to get those points if you're watching this later and all the other benefits we talked about. The other reminder I have for you is about next week. Our week number 2 Twitch live stream will be on August 23rd at 12:30 p.m. So I will try to do our live streams at the same time and day every week, just again for consistency. So our next one will be next Wednesday, the 23rd at 12:30. If something ever comes up or the internet doesn't cooperate, it might change, but for the most part, they'll be pretty consistent. And then what I will do from here is I'll give you the extra credit question, show you how to answer it, and then I'll hang out and see if you have any questions for me. And that's always a great time to ask if you do have anything that you're confused about. So for the extra credit, I wrote this out ahead of time to help myself. Let me post this in the chat. So this is the week number 1 Twitch extra credit question. Okay, so your question for this week is name and describe 2 to 3 characteristics of good scientific theories. And this is something that's covered in the book and also in the lecture. What are 2 to 3 characteristics of a good scientific theory? And if you would like to answer that, make sure you put your name in the chat somewhere today, unless you're subscribed, in which case you don't have to worry about it. Or if you're watching this later and you're subscribed, you can still do this. You go back to Canvas, and since we're in week 1, you're going to click on optional Twitch extra credit number 1. And when you click on that, it will bring up the assignment with some reminders about how you get those points. And then at the very top, you'll click on this Start Assignment button that's blue. And that brings up a text box where you can type your response. So you'll answer the question, which you'll be able to do once you've done the reading and all of that. And once you've finished answering it, you hit submit, and it's going to give you a little confetti burst and daisies, little flowers. There's always something different that comes with the confetti, something to look forward to. It was pizza for my last class. So that's how you can get those 2 points every week. This is a lot of points. It adds up. We have, well, like 16 of these live streams. So you could get anywhere from like 32 points or so of extra credit. That will make up for a missed discussion. It would make up for a lower exam score, or maybe some points that you missed on a homework assignment. Those points will be really helpful as just bonus points added to your score. So if you are able to join me live, please do. If you're not, watch these later as a recording, and just make sure you've subscribed so that you can still answer this on here, because I can see that you watched it. But take advantage of these extra credit opportunities. There are like 15, 16 of you in here with me right now, which is amazing. I know a lot of you have classes and work and other things. Normally this will be about 30 minutes. It's a little longer today just because it's the first week, but normally it'll be kind of short and sweet unless we have an exam or something else I'm going to cover. But that is everything that I wanted to go over with you. If you are feeling good and you don't have any questions, you're welcome to go ahead and go. If you have any questions, I will hang out for the next, 7-8 minutes or so, and you're welcome to put them in the chat. I can show you something if there's something you're confused about, or I can answer it. But this is a wonderful chance for you to interact with me live. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful first week. I hope your classes are going well. It's hard adjusting coming back from summer, so if you're tired, that's okay. We all are. But have a wonderful week. Stay cool. It's definitely hot out there. And I will hang out if you do have anything else you want to ask. So I'm going to put in here, thank you. Thank you for those of you who joined me live. Have a wonderful week. I am going to minimize my video so I'm not staring at myself, but I will hang out for a little bit. If you do have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. So thank you so much again for joining me. And I am still here. I'm glad to have you back. Yeah, it's nice to see some familiar names. That's fantastic. And you know what to expect, which is always amazing too. But you're welcome. Thank you for being here. And again, feel free as we go through these in the future to ask questions and comment in the chat. I think that's a nice feature to be able to do. Thank you as well. Have a wonderful week. And again, if you don't have any questions, you're welcome to go. If you do have questions, feel free to hang back and ask. This is a great time to do that. And again, I am still here, even though you can't see me. I'm still here if you have any questions, or if you think of something later, you can obviously email me. That's totally fine. And I am still here for a few more minutes. Again, just to remind you, if you do have any questions for me, I'm here. You're welcome to ask. All right, it looks like almost everyone is gone at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and close this up so I can start the download upload process. But if you do think of any other questions, I am here. Please feel free to reach out. Have a wonderful week, and I will hope to see you all next week.